And within this complex, I mean, it's this family of wealth and elitists that also these same families hit these drug companies. I mean, pharmaceutical countries, should I say. And they also control the drugs, illegal. But I didn't get into that. That's another story. But what happens is that they want a population control. They want to thin the herd. See, it's easy.
So 6 billion people, just too many.
What I already said, that if you go to the put in the Gladstones of Atlanta, somebody put up what is 4 or 5 tons, 20 tons stones with 10 commandments, and one of them is to reduce the population from 6 billion to 500,000. So just anybody just couldn't put those stones up. My point is, they want to thin the population out where it's easy to rule a few million folks, than it is to remove 6 billion. And you want to get rid of the useless eaters. The resources could be saved for what they want. And
the useless eaters.
They call us useless eaters. That's their words. That's not my words.
The useless eaters.
They call us useless eaters. See, so matter of fact, there's a memorandum 200 that Kirchner put out, and he said the resources of the third world was not theirs. See, they belong to again the BIS and these elitists.
But don't the average Joe Blow, I know they don't know, they should understand this country is so great. This country is so rich because, and I love America. People say, that guy doesn't love America. He's not a real American. He's not a true American. I love America, but we're so well fed because we exploit the rest of the planet.
Well, wait a minute. See, now when you say we,
well,
the average American middle class, that has nothing to do with that. The country itself is great, but what you have, everybody knows what a parasite is. You can throw a parasite in its body. It can take needs a host, and it takes over. In other words, we have a parasite. These are the BIS, the Federal Reserve Bank, these elitist families, the Bilderberg, whatever you want to call them. They have co-opted the whole government apparatus. And once you co-opt that, it's just like an AIDS virus, once they can co-opt and then take over the immune system and begin to multiply. Well, they have taken over the various functions of institutions of power in this country, and they have pushed their agenda, not the people's agenda. It's not for the people and by the people. It's for them and their agenda. So as a result, that's the reason why the problem with the health, the reason why your money is being devalued. Why are we spending $500 billion each year on a defense? We're on 170 bases. Who in the hell? $500 billion?
For what?
Who you gonna fight?
Yeah, for what?
Well, the whole problem is constant dominion to increase technology so we can always have rule to put our thumb on anybody, anywhere on this planet.
Which is the purpose of the U.S. military.
That's the purpose of the U.S. military. In other words, if you don't do what Saddam did, his bad mistake was he could do anything. He could kill off as many Kurds as he wanted. He can have as many women as he wanted. He could sell some dope. But when he said he was not going to use a dollar, no more.
He was going to trade in euros.
He was going to trade in euros. Well, that did it.
That's it. You out.
You out.
Caller, you're next on Viewpoint Live. Wait, he's not next. Okay, hold on. We got another phone call in a minute. What hurts me so much is the ignorance. We do these TV shows, and I listen to the conservative talk shows, and they make fun of conspiracy theorists like you. They make fun of there's conspiracy theories. They want people to believe that the American government is true and everybody's for the red, white, and blue. I always tell people the red, white, and blue, the American flag should be replaced by a barcode. That's what it's all about. It's about the barcode. It ain't got nothing to do with sovereignty of these countries. sovereignty is mute in the world we live in.
Well, we found out about that in Iraq when they went over and basically took over the oil. They basically, besides one of the most powerful things that we got, if you got an army, you got to control the oil. Who controls the oil controls the world. You got your dollar hegemony. Everything is priced in dollars. The price of oil is determined by London and Wall Street. All resources in the world are determined by them. It's what they decide the price is. So if they decide that a bushel of corn is worth 10 cents, well, that's what you get. What does the farmer say? I can't grow that 10. Well, that's tough. You got to pay the loan. You better bring it down here.
But Dr. Warren, before we get to the next phone call, do you think that if Afghanistan did not grow poppy seeds, would we be there in Afghanistan?
Well, they had some pipelines. No.
They got a pipeline too, right? And poppy seeds.
The poppy seeds. But it's always been about dope, and ever since they brought us over here. They put the Chinese on the opium wars were fought over that. What can we say? You're dealing with something that's Luciferian, straight up, and it's evil, and it has no intent of changing, because a leopard can't change its spots. And the Bible, in the Revelation, calls this Mystery Babylon the Great. It is actually driven people mad. That's why you have people snapping in the street because of the economic pressure that's being placed on us. Why aren't black kids taught geometry and et cetera? Why did they take music out of the classroom? These people have no form of discipline. The first thing you do with a race is that you don't have to destroy. Just take certain things away and just give them certain stuff to distract them. We give you what is that, what do they call it? Xbox. You sit there all day, Xbox. I mean, that stuff is a distraction. What it does is it shuts the whole down intellectual debate.
One point. People say, I think for myself. I'm an independent thinker.
You're a joke.
I know people don't. Your mind is totally controlled.
You are totally shaped and formed by everything that you see on that TV. Everybody's got. You walk around, you see most young kids. I mean, everybody's got an Xbox. They got playing these games. You see, and they spend a great deal of their time with that. So don't tell me that that is something that you thought of. No, it was placed in your consciousness to be hip, to be cool, to be look. Why do you wear pants that's 3 sizes too big for you? Why do you decide that book learning is stupid?
But how do you get a poor person to buy a $200 gym shoe? I don't understand that.
Because you make it hip.
Right. I mean,
you make it clean.
You're brainwashed.
Exactly.
You're brainwashed.
Well, you put on the idols. You put on an idol. The Bible always talked about idols. I'm talking about Shaq, Michael, all these guys, and they walk around and say, "Oh, that's hip."
And they don't know what they're doing. I mean,
they're making money, but the average guy that don't have a clue to what's going on.
You sat here. I listened to you for years, and I really don't take a lot of your advice because I'm lazy. But you sat here right in this studio years ago, and you told the people, get out of your arms, your adjusted rate mortgages.
Right.
Them folks still getting adjusted. Their arms are adjusting and taking them right out of their homes.
Listen, you're gonna have.
I mean, a brainwashed fool, a zombie buys a home with an arm. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Oh well, see, those things were only designed for people that are very professional, had a bunch of money. Just say, for instance, you were an executive, and you had an option that was going to a stock option was $17 million. Well, you could buy a 5-year house, and knowing that this would come down the line. But the average person, he don't have the income that wasn't designed for him. It's designed for somebody that's gonna live in a house for 5 years and move to another city. That type of thing. He was backed by a corporation. This stuff here.
That's why I get mad with the Republicans, the conservatives that said the economy collapsed because minorities bought homes they could not afford.
Listen, that's the biggest damn lie that anybody ever told. Anybody that know in the bank, I can't walk in the bank and you can't walk into any bank anywhere in Chicago and say, listen, I want $1 million. And the first thing the bank is gonna ask you, where's the damn collateral? Nobody gives you that type money. So for them to start giving anybody and everybody loans for houses, they had authority from the Federal Reserve. They said, go ahead and do it.
Because they probably knew it was going to cause a collapse.
All that they knew. They want to get their money up front and wind up taking over most of the housing. Half the housing in this country will be owned by the federal government.
Don't have to be.
Or the Federal Reserve, whichever one it is. So, I mean, hell, you know what? You back with Mr. Charlie's Plantation where they call us niggas. Hey, get out there in the field and work. That's probably what it's the same thing.
Yeah, we're debtors' prisons and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we
won't have debtors' prisons. They're more sophisticated than that. They have you work till you drop dead.
Indentured servants. Right. Okay, caller, you're next on Viewpoint Live.
Okay, I got a 2-part question for Mr. Warren, Dr. Warren. Speaking of property, do you think that buying property right now is a good investment since property is so cheap? And the second part is, what do you think about applying for grants from the government? Do you think that at this time, in day and age, is it really possible of getting grants to start businesses and to make investments right now?
Well, let me say this. The first question is, I think things are going to get worse. If you put a guy in Robini, do your research on the internet, he's talking about another 40% decline in real estate. I mean, just be patient. This thing is going to fall further and much further than you think. By the time Obama gets out of office or the next guy comes in 2013, you will not believe how cheap houses is going to be. Now, your second question is this. Let me say this. I've often said it repeatedly, and I say it over and over again. During the Depression, there was over 10,000 millionaires made. It was a show forth. Even in that distress situation, there were people that started businesses and became very prosperous. In 1908, what was the first black millionaire? What was her name?
The hair care lady.
The hair care lady. She started in 1907. That was the depression. That was the depression before the 1929. Well, listen,
Madam C.J. Walker.
C.J. Walker.
Madam C.J. Walker.
Madam